Hi, my name is Shakira, and I'm from Manhattanville Projects, and I met Unique the summer of 1992, and he was, from the moment I met him, he was bigger than life. I met him walking down 125th Street with my best friend at the time, Candy, and he was driving a BMW with a bunch of young guys in a car, and it was like a scene from New Jack City. He had this bucket hat on, no shirt, and some shorts on. And he said, "You are so beautiful." He was like, "Take down my number. Matter of fact, give me your number." And I gave him at that point, I didn't have a cell phone. It was like when you had a phone in your house. He's like, "Give me your number." He said, "I'm going to call you in 15 minutes. And I laughed it off. I thought it was so cute. And by the time I got home, the phone was ringing. He actually called in 15 minutes. And from that point on, we've been tight ever since. He has taught me so much. It was definitely started out as a friendship, and he became my family. He taught me so many life lessons on how a woman should be treated, good and bad in the world, and just lessons on, you know, how to, like, once again, how a woman should be treated, and, you know, be treated for your mind and not for your body. And I am a real estate agent. I am a consultant, HR consultant, and I have my own clothing line. And I just feel really blessed to have known Unique. You know, I always reference some of his quotes that he would say, you know. So a quote that he would say is that you don't have to lie to kick it. Just be yourself. And that's something that I took with for the rest of my life, basically. I mean, the memories that we had from places that we traveled to together, to, you know, shopping sprees, just everything, you know. I mean, even when he was away, we always remained close, and it was always a positive thing. It was never anything sexual. It was always positivity. How are you doing? What are you doing in life? And we would just ask each other those questions. And I was just so amazed at, no matter how much, you know, he could have been down for the things that he'd been through locked up, but he was always positive, and he always said God was gonna make a way for him. And by the grace of God, he's here now, and I know he is going to do fabulous things with his life, because God has him here for a reason. And no matter what you hear about Unique from Mecca Audio, he was a human being. He's a human being. He has a heart, and he's an intelligent person. And you haven't seen the last of Unique.
Tell him again. But tell him now, remember when we met, what was I driving when
I met Unique, he was driving a drop top BMW. Before, literally, that was the first drop top BMW I've ever seen on that level, on that caliber. And he drove it like if he was just driving a Honda. It didn't matter. You know how some people they drive fancy cars and they like, oh, watch your step when you get in a car. You know, this is fit. He wasn't even about that life. You get in, it was materialistic, and he knew he can get it 2-3 times over again. So you get in, he didn't worry about you messing up his rugs or anything like that. He always had the latest cars. And when I'm telling you, he was just like bigger than life. When he came through 125th Street, all heads would turn. You know, so it was really an honor to be sitting next to him, honestly. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, it was just like, I don't know, it's just like being next to a star, you know, but you're learning from it. You know, you're watching him like a mentor. And that's what my life was with Unique. He was my mentor. And I learned so much from him, you know, and I'm just so thankful that he's here, he's with his family, and he's able to have a chance to tell the world, so the world can see him. And the younger generation who don't really know too much about him, they will know about him. And they will know the life of a real baller.
Tell him about when I had my daughter with me and her mother came to the car and you were sitting in the front. If you remember what you was wearing, what we was driving, just give them a visual so they understand what a day in dealing with Unique was as far as for a female.
Absolutely. So I'm in his car. I'm in Unique's car with him, and we typically would go pick up Yanni. But this particular day, Yanni's mother was in the back seat of the car, and a friend of hers. I was wearing a pair of shorts and like a midriff top. And like I said, I was a very young girl. I was in the car, I was quiet, Unique was driving, and she was having a conversation with his daughter's mother. And his daughter's mother leans over to me and says, so are you one of Unique's girlfriends? And I just turned over to her and I said, one of them. And it just blew her mind. She couldn't believe I said that. Like, she thought that like my feelings was gonna be hurt. Like, she was implying that this man has all these different women. And it was just like, you don't even know. Like, I'm already on it. It's not even that type of party. I know who he is. He's very truthful. And, you know, we're friends. I got this. He got this. We're okay. And that was it. And she was just like, wow. It was like she had respect for me after that.
Now, tell them about how I taught you to have respect for yourself so others will respect you.
Absolutely. So, you know, in those days, well, I was always quiet. You know, I wasn't really a person that was out in the streets, but I hung out with girls that were more experienced. And even, you know, being around Unique and a lot of women that was around him, you always had some that was just like really loud, outspoken, you know, drinking and smoking just like the men was, wearing clothes that was just so revealing. And he would always say, you see, a man is going to treat you the way you put yourself out there. You know, if you conduct yourself like a young woman and you respect yourself, the clothing that you wear, how you speak to people, and, you know, just everything, that's how a man will treat you, by the way you carry yourself.
And respect yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, who's going to respect you? All right, then. You know? So now tell me about, like, up in the club. What was it like in the club?
The club was so amazing. So Unique threw me, I don't know if you remember this, at Club 2000. And I was like, you going to throw me a party? And he was like, absolutely. So I never forget what I had on. I had on a cream bodysuit and I had on a cream mink stole. And my best friend at the time, Lala, she had on the black bodysuit with the black mink stole. And we came out, had my hair cut like a Holly Berry haircut. And we came up in there and he was like, he shouted me out. It was so many. It was my first time at a club. It was so many people there, you couldn't even turn your head. He had the loop dancers up there. It was just so, the vibe was so crazy. As soon as you walk and you see people, you know everybody's grabbing you and they're hugging you. It was nothing but love, you dancing. You couldn't even turn your, it was so crowded. It was so packed. You could barely move. That's how packed it was. But it was just, it was no other place like it. You know, it was no other club like Club 2000. To this day, whenever you speak about a good memory, a good party time, it's always Club 2000.
So what were some of the people you saw there, some of the memories you had with your friends? Or how did I conduct myself with the other women that I was dealing with at the time while you was there?
One thing I could always say about you is that there was never no shame in your game. You never hid nothing from anybody. Either you're going to accept it and deal with it, or you're free to go your way. So you knew what time it was. It was all love. Like, you come up, give everybody a hug and kiss. And those that were special to you, you let it be known. That one right there, yeah, that's me right there. Like, you single the people that was extra special to you, you would single them out. But you was always like, man, you was like so party, like professional, and you was able to multitask. You was able to get the party jumping. You was able to still greet guests. You were just all over the place. Like, man, all I know is that you were bigger than life. You've always been bigger than life. Everything you touch turns to gold.
Okay, well, it's a good interview. Nice talking to you. So you could let them know. I just wanted to let the females know that they have to learn to respect themselves, because if they don't respect themselves, then no one else is going to respect
No
them.
one else will.
And I'm proud of you for the woman that you have grew and matured into.
Thank you.
And I feel honored to know that my words of wisdom and the time spent with you wasn't wasted.
God is good.
Just so you know, and I've always respected her, you know what I mean, and never disrespected her. And like I said, it wasn't no sex thing. She was my little sister. She was my family. She was my heart. She was my everything. And she grew into this beautiful woman from, my life lessons, we did everything together. We just chilled. And like I said, it wasn't a sex thing. You know what I mean? We was just friends. And everything was, she was my little sister. She was my everything, And you're beautiful. Tell them what you do now for a living so they know what your career has turned into.
So I'm an HR consultant for a financial firm in Texas. I'm also a real estate agent. And I also have my own clothing line. Cool Stuff for Girls.
Oh, what's this called? What's the name of it?
Cool Stuff for Girls.
Cool Stuff for Girls. Okay. And what kind of stuff is it on Big Mick that's cool?
It's clothes for little girls from infants to teenagers.
Oh, okay. All right. Dresses, casual wear, what is it?
Dresses, casual wears, you name it. Accessories, you name it.
Okay. What about the real estate that you're into? What is that?
I'm into commercial real estate in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Atlanta and Texas. So you multitasking, you diving. Okay. All right. I'm even more proud of this. I hope young ladies, y'all watching this and you know that as long as a man respects you, you know what I mean? You must respect yourself for him to respect you. If not, you know what I mean? He's not going to respect you, and neither is anyone else. You know what I mean? And, like I said, I'm going to stress it again, it ain't a sex thing. You know what I mean? If you find someone that, that you feel needs your wisdom and your guidance, you give it to them. You know what I mean? And you just keep it real and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoyed talking to you. You sharing
it's a pleasure.
The beautiful woman you have become.
Thank you.
Tell us about the time in Yonkers you was just mentioning.
So I remember a time in Yonkers where Unique used to have this black leather sectional couch. And he was like one of the first people to have the disc CDs to watch we have the DVDs now, but it was like a laser jet CD. And he would put it on, we would watch the latest movies, but he would be bending over, rolling a blunt, and said, "Hey baby, so what's on your mind today? What's going on in your world?" Because at that point, he had been away for like a week or so, I hadn't seen him. And he would always call me when he was in town, like, "Hey, you wanna come up?" And I remember just like telling him my life stories, like whatever was going on in my life at the time is what we discussed. And he was always so cool about it. He gave me the best advice. And he would give it to me straight up. If I was wrong, he would say I was wrong. If I needed to do something, he would say, "Listen, if it was me, I would do it this way." And I would take his advice. I would say, Yui, I don't know, I'm contemplating to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to do it the way that you're saying and see if it worked out for me. And God knows it worked out for me the way he explained to do it. It's a blessing. I think the thing that's missing from the generation today is that the younger generation think they know so much. You can't tell them anything. But in our day, if someone told you something and you respected them, you would listen to them and it would work out for you. But nowadays, you can't tell a youth anything. You try to school them, you try to give them the blueprint, like I would say to my son. But no matter how much you say, "Listen, I've been through this, so take my advice," a lot of times, unfortunately, they don't take that advice and they end up down the wrong road. But I just thank my God that I had Unique, who was, like I said, like my mentor, like my big brother, to go through and ask these questions, or things that I was just going through, just growing pains as being a teenager in this life, wanting to be in this life, but not really understanding the lifestyle, just wanting to be in it to fit in. And he knew that, and it was like he took me under his wing. He knew, like, he would warn me about certain females that I would be around. He would be like, you don't need to be around. He would be like, "You're better than that. That's your girlfriend, I know, and you don't see what I see, but you need to leave her alone because you're going places, and her right there, she's all about scheming and scamming, and you don't need to be around that." And those are the things that I always took that type of advice from him, and thank God I did, because if I didn't, who knows where I would have ended up, just like any other young girl. I saw a lot of young girls that was around that lifestyle, that scene that we were all in, and they were just like burnt out before their 20s just for the things that they were doing. And it's just like, you know, show me a company and I'll tell you who you are just by the company that you keep. You understand what I'm saying?
Preach to them.
You
Let
can
them know.
end up in an alley. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was a blessing for me to be around that, you know, and it was a blessing to get that type of advice. And thank God I was smart enough to listen, you know, because it made me who I am today. I'm a strong Black woman, you know, I do what I need to do. And, you know, I don't never forget where I came from.
Yo, you know what time this is. Unique, the Harlem legend, the icon, the kingpin. Make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like my joints. Make sure you comment on the joints. And make sure you share this joint. Alright? Make sure you hit the notification button so you notify when the videos come in. You don't want to miss it. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Unique Mecca Audio got it going on. Alright? Hey, make sure you get this joint. It's bananas. A Roaring Harlem at roaringharlem.com. You ain't gonna find another better book. Yo, get this joint while supplies last, because I'm telling you, the best book you're gonna read, 5 stars, it's crack.